Hi, I wanted to just take a minute to share just an overview of what it is that I'm doing inside of our GIS environment and creating this data, these Thiessen polygons that we're discussing, because I don't think I've ever taken the time to actually show you what it is I do from my end, and maybe it'll be informative so that you kind of have an idea of what it is I'm talking about when I talk about, this model I have that automates things and helps us, you know, produce the figures that we're producing. So essentially what I start off with when I have this task is I have our study area. And our study area is broken up into marshes and tributaries and creeks. So I just take and symbolize these things out, and so you kind of see what it is we're talking about, right? We have these marshes, we have these creeks. And yeah, so these are kind of our areas. These are the features that we're going to use to clip polygons out. And you can see that we discussed the fact that we're going to have to redefine these areas. Okay, so and I take the points that are given to me and I put them in the map, and then I use this model right here. It's a workflow where each one of these little things have an input and an output, and each one of these things is what's termed a geo process, and I've basically strung them together with different input parameters to pull out the kind of stuff that I want to pull out. And when we run this thing, when we run this thing, you'll see that you kind of just really just press the play button here, and I'm going to let this thing run through. It'll take just a minute here. Okay, so you can see one of the things that it does is when the tool runs, it creates a bunch of polygons based on the distribution of the points. You can see how this shakes out like this. Okay, so then the next step, and one of the things the tool does is based on whether or not we told it that we want tributaries and creeks or marshes, it clips this large data set accordingly. I misspoke. We're actually dealing with creeks and tribs here, not marshes, but the point's the same. That you can see that we clip it based on the tributaries and creeks, and we end up with this kind of thing. And then this thing has to really further be cleaned up, and this is really where I spend my time. You can see that using the tributaries and the creeks, it will it clips this thing right here, and so you've got all these little multi-part polygons that have to be grouped in with the right sample, and this is really the laborious part of this, and this is where I end up spending a lot of my time. Now, this tool, this tool that I've made helps out tremendously because you don't have to run each one of these steps singularly. And when it works, it's great. And when it breaks, you have to go and debug it, and it's no fun. But right now, with a dummy data set, this thing seems to be working pretty well. So, I think we're in a good position to just to start. And like I said, once I have the data in hand, I can go ahead and start working on this. And when whenever we figure out how it is we're going to parse out the redefinition of creek and tributary widths, we're just going to incorporate that into this giant clipping layer right here. So, and I don't know if we're going to do anything with this portion over here this time. I don't think we have any samples over there, but anyway, this is where we're at, and I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what the overall process, so that you understand where I'm coming from when I say I'm going to do the GIS work for this. All right, thanks. Bye.